Shalom to you again from Interfaithfulness, where we're building bridges, where history builds walls. And this week we're talking about something which I figure probably most people are not really interested in. And that's a measure of how much trouble we're in as a community. Because this is something that God is very interested in. Kavod, honor. It's something you find all throughout Scripture. And I'm reminded, by the way, of one of my favorite movies, The Godfather. The Godfather is also all about honor. Honor is a very important concept in the Bible. You don't have to be Don Corleone to wonder about honor, because in the Bible it's a very big thing. Give unto the Lord glory and honor, give unto the Lord glory and strength, give unto the Lord the honor, due his name, the kavod, due his name. Worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. Psalm 29. All over the Bible we see people exchanging kavod. When Moses meets his father-in-law Jethro at Mount Sinai in Exodus 18, when Moses sees his father-in-law, he prostrates himself before him. Moses is the servant of the one true God. He's just brought Israel out of Egypt through 10 mighty plagues. But his father-in-law is still his father-in-law. His father-in-law is a pagan priest. But Moses prostrates himself before him. He shows him honor. And we've lost that in our culture, and because of that, we're poorer for it. And today I want to talk about your community and my community, our communities, and about what is to be lost to us if we don't get kavod right. So let me first give you a definition that I gave you earlier this week on what kavod is. Kavod is the appropriate weight of respect or honor owed to someone or something. The appropriate weight of respect or honor owed to someone or something. And I want to talk today about 4 aspects of your community, my community, our communities. And here it is. This is from Acts chapter 2, where Kefa, otherwise known as Peter, says this: in the last days, Adonai says, in the last days, I will pour out from my spirit upon everyone. Your sons and your daughters will prophesy, your young men will see visions, and your old men will dream dreams. This is all 4 quadrants that are really suggested in this verse. Young and old, male and female. This creates what I call the kavod matrix. And here it is. The kavod matrix, which we find in Acts chapter 2, verse 17 and 18. Old men, old women, young women. That's the matrix. God has poured forth his Spirit on all 4 of these categories of people. And if you have a community where you suppress the voice of young men, you patronize them. It's nice to have them around, but you just don't want them to get too involved. If you do that, you are quenching the Spirit in your community. If you are a community that likes women to be in the nursery and in the kitchen, but otherwise to please make sure they don't say too much, you are quenching the Spirit, because the Spirit is poured out on young women and old women, and you must hear their voices. And if you are a community which somehow relegates the older people to honored silence, you are silencing the Spirit of God. I didn't expect to get old so fast. I don't know what happened. I feel like Rip Van Winkle. I feel like I went to sleep 35 years old and I woke up 74. I wasn't counting on this. But I can tell you from my personal experience that even though I'm still an honored person in the Messianic community, things have shifted. Many people don't expect very much from me because you're an old guy. Well, I got news for you. Behind these eyeballs is the same guy that I was when I was a kid. And I've still got a lot of ideas. And as Caleb said when he was older than me, he said, give me this mountain. I'm not finished yet. And your old people are not finished yet. And if you're finished with your older people, then you are quenching the Spirit of God. It's not a good idea. Again, I will show you the kavod matrix. It's right there in Acts chapter 2, verse 17 and 18. old men, old women, young women. You must give all of these categories of people the appropriate honor and respect. If you don't, you quench the spirit. And the last I knew, that was not a good idea. That's it for today, from Interfaithfulness, where we're building bridges, where history builds walls. Think about what I said. It can make a big difference in your community. Shalom.